Week 7 is on the way, and we got your latest waiver wire must ads right here on What's Your Fantasy. What's going on, NFL world? If you are a fantasy football owner right now, and I don't know what your record is. This has been the worst fantasy football season I've ever endured. You know, Peachy, I'm sure you're doing well. You know, it's funny. We do the show, and I don't even check my fantasy football team till damn near Thursday.
I was about to say that we do this show, and I never take the advice of what is on the show, but we want everybody else to take our advice, and then we sell our lineups, and we literally do not take our own advice. I don't know how many times this happened. In
my defense, though, I forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my defense, I'm out doing something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for me, Sundays. And you know what? This year has been the weirdest late game scratches I've ever seen.
Yes.
You know, you got your fantasy lineup set. You know what I'm saying? You got your Brian Robinson in, and then you in church on Sunday, and then he's not going to play. Like, what happened? He was fine. He practiced. What happened? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's. Listen, if you're a fantasy football owner, manager, whatever you want to call yourself, this is a full-time job. All right, and don't have 13 teams like WayneBreezie, because that's 13 full-time jobs. You know what I mean? Yeah. People think I'm on freaking In Living Color. I'm not doing the skit. You got 13 job done, you know? So it's crazy. How's your fantasy football season going thus far headed into week 7?
It is going so fantastic that I am ready to just get my fantasy basketball going. That's how bad the football is. If you literally are one in whatever, you might as well give it up, because you don't have time to do anything. There's just a handful of weeks left. So if you're one in whatever, I'm sure that people have given it up. I have 2 that I'm one in whatever in, and I'm not even checking those anymore. I don't even care.
That's crazy.
I'm only checking the ones that I still have a chance to win. That way, that lowers that from, like, I think I got 11 this year, 11, 12, something like that. And I'm literally about to get rid of about 4 of them, because I'm 1 in whatever, 1 in 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just been a very, very bad year. A lot of top fantasy players getting hurt. And just, you know, all kinds of craziness, getting hurt in the middle of games. Most of them getting hurt before halftime. So you don't even get the best out of them because they get hurt. So speaking of which...
Let's get to the injury report. Welcome to What's Your Fantasy. Before we drop that, make sure you guys go ahead and join the TWBEN Sports League using the Locker app. Locker app is your favorite fantasy football app. I mean, the prizes are unlimited. The cash prizes are unlimited. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. Bet now, man, with Locker app. Make sure you join that league right there. That's the league that I've created for you to play against me so I can take your money. All right, I can take your money. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this. And you know, if you're first time watching, you know, you're like, who are these people? We're the people you want to subscribe to. So make sure you click on that subscribe. That's Crystal Peachy B. I'm the WayneBreezie. Let's go ahead and get into the injury report. I'm praying it's not long because I'm tired. So
it's not long.
Okay, thank goodness, because it's just I can't take a long injury report. All right. Go ahead, Peachy. You got it.
These are actually just the current ones. This not the ones we go over. We're not going to go through all those. A lot of you guys know who's going to remain out and all that stuff. So first, we're starting off with quarterback Anthony Richardson, who is supposed to play this week unless there's a setback. So they are intending on for him to play. So they're going to bench the GOAT, Joe Flacco, and bring back Richardson. So we'll see how that goes. This is something to keep an eye on with quarterback Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields. Russell Wilson is taking all of the first team reps, not some, but all of the first team reps this week. Yes, that is perfect. That's what we need. So Coach Mike Tomlin has yet to make his decision, but he is giving him every opportunity he can this week, as he said that he had told him that when he was 100% and ready to go, that the job would be his. So keep a close eye on the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields thing right there, because that's a major one that could hurt some people that have had Justin Fields in there as their starting quarterback.
It's time, though, because as much as I love the dynamic of what Justin Fields can do, he just can't throw a pass.
Right.
And, I don't know how much longer, Pittsburgh's going to be able to sustain. They're 4-2 right now, but it's about to start ramping up. Cold football is about to hit, and Justin Fields just can't do what some quarterbacks can do. Like, I hate to say it, but there's a guy that I think you should pick up on your waiver wire that looks like he's playing better football than Justin Fields as a quarterback. Now, like I said, I like what Justin Fields does with his feet, but if he ain't rushing for 5 touchdowns, you ain't scoring.
Right. And you have a really good point about that. Pittsburgh's defense is carrying them for the most part, even though their offense is doing good.
And their kicker.
Yes, their defense and their kicker and special teams, let's just say that, are the one that's doing it. So is it a good idea? Is it not? Is Pittsburgh fans upset? They are. Just for fantasy wise, just keep an eye on that, because if you do have Justin Fields as your starting quarterback and Russ starts, that would be bad, because that would ruin your whole entire fantasy lineup. So keep an eye on that one.
Beware.
Next, we have running back Travis Etienne, who hammy is out for a few games, which means that Tank Bigsby is going to get that start.
He finally got hurt.
I have a feeling that Jacksonville has not wanted him to get hurt, but they do like what they have in Bigsby. Could be moving on from Etienne, so keep an eye on that. The next running back is Tajay Spears. He does have a hammy and is expected to be week to week. So you're definitely going to want to put in, why did he skip? Tony Pollard. Definitely going to make sure that you have Tony Pollard. If
he's their one anyway.
Right, exactly. Running back Jerome Ford also has a hammy. He's not been performing. It don't matter. Nick Chubb is back for week 7. So you guys got him on the IR. Make sure you move him, because he is starting week 7. He's finally 100% and ready to go. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks is shoulder week to week in Green Bay. Jaden Reed, keep an eye on that through the week. Wide receivers Marvin Harrison Jr. and Chris Olave, both weird with concussions. They are also not expected to play this week, so keep an eye on both of those.
Really?
Yeah. Wide receiver Devontae Adams will play for the New York Jets for week 7. So there will be no hold up on that.
So hamstring is fixed. Interesting.
Of course. Even got his jet shoes. Got everything ready. So no, there's nothing wrong with him. He's good. He passed his physical. Everything he needed to do. He's good to go. So Devontae Adams getting balls from Aaron Rodgers now. So tight end Dallas Goedert has a hammy. So definitely keep an eye on that. He's also not going to play. He's not expected to play this week.
Did he get injured in the game? Because he got me 0 points.
Yeah, he got injured. I want to say he got injured like in the beginning of the game. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of them got hurt like in the beginning of the freaking game. It's crazy.
Time to drop. I'm not gonna wait. Just gonna drop him.
That's what I'm saying, because you can't. Bye week. Cowboys and Bears. So there's only 2 teams that are on the bye week, so it makes it a lot easier for you
Bears.
whenever you are trying to do whatever. The Cowboys, I think, need the bye week worse than anyone, for whatever reason. But that is your week 7 injury report.
Man, what an injury report! Woo. A lot of injuries. Lot of injuries will creep up too. A lot of teams dealing with players that are dinged up. So just pay attention. Let's go over the scoring leaders from like 6. There's a name up here, and I'm saying to myself, who is this guy? Right? Who's this guy? Never seen him on here before in my life. And so you didn't mention the injury to Rashad. I don't know what's going on with Rashad White over in Tampa. So I'm curious to know if he's still dealing with something.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I forgot about him.
I'm all in on this Bucky Irving cat, and I started him. He gets me 7 points, and Sean Tucker comes in, all right, and gets 34.2 points in PPR league. They had 2 players that led in categories. Chris Godwin as the wide receiver with 35.5. And Sean Tucker as a running back with 34.2.
Never even heard of Sean Tucker.
Had to look him up. He's
wild.
He's so non. He wears number 44. The last good running back that wore 44 that I could think was good. This is not a shot at Kyle Juszczyk, Niner fans, because he's not a running back.
Right. He's a fullback.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Peachy.
Mm-hmm.
Was Ahmad Bradshaw.
Yes.
From the Giants. A little tough mid cookie.
That was
tough.
A while ago.
Long time ago. Long ago. My Luther. But no, seriously, like that like so I'm like, who is this 44 guy? Why is he playing? And where's Bucky Irving?
Right. Because I know good and well, I can tell you the heart that if you had Sean Tucker,
if you had Sean Tucker, please set up my lineups for me every week because you cheating. That's a cheat. You cheated.
You were getting some kind of information from somewhere if you have Sean Tucker.
Who did they play? The Saints, right? Mm-hmm. Listen. I ain't even get to. I'm stuck on number 2 because we still trying to figure out who Sean Tucker. No relation to Chris Tucker. But they got 3 players in the top 10. Literally, their wide receiver, their quarterback was the number 2 quarterback in scoring. Caleb Williams was number 3 at 29.6. Baker Mayfield 28.9. Guess where he was? On my bench. I think it's time I just say, F Josh Allen. Yes, Baker Mayfield, because this is fantasy football, and I need to win. And I'm not winning because Josh Allen isn't producing or Jalen Hurts isn't producing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Joe Mixon finally came back and let the league know that he is the motherfucking man when he's healthy, because he was the number 2 running back and he had 27.2 points. Jordan Love, quarterback for the Packers, 26.6. Bijan Robinson finally cracked the top 10. Sound the alarm. Do I have an alarm sound? I should have an alarm sound. Sound the alarm? Nope. No alarm sound. But he finally cracked the freaking top 10. That ain't an alarm sound. But there it is. He finally cracked the top 10. Where has this man been? Bijan Robinson, 25.5 points. Derrick Henry, number 8, 25.2. Jared Goff is consistently trending upwards, 25.1. I mean, they're doing trick plays, flea flickers, and all that. And Garrett Wilson, what a game. What a phenomenal game. Actually, Garrett Wilson.
Last one.
Don't say that.
No, on the fantasy.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think now he's going to really feast.
You
now
think
he's gonna, double coverage Devontae, Garrett Wilson single coverage. This is it. Garrett Wilson should be like, thank you, Jesus, hallelujah, hallelujah. Like, right? He took a wicked hit last night in the end zone, and I was like, oh man, get up. But if he caught that touchdown, he might have been the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football.
Right. But my thing with him is literally what I was thinking. Was with my heart, I was like, okay, both of my Buckeyes went out on the same day.
Not a third one, right? Not
a third Buckeye. Like, what is going on here? So Rashad White was out for week 6 with the foot injury, of course. And
so I'm expecting him to be out week 7, maybe.
Basically, a fun fact is about this Sean Tucker kid. Is that he was undrafted because he has a heart condition. He would have been drafted in the 2nd round because he had a really good career at Syracuse. and it was really good. And somebody probably would have taken him in the second or third round, but he was undrafted because of that. And Todd Bowles said that he has no problem having a 3-headed monster. So we'll see what happens with him and Sean Tucker. But he definitely put on a show, that's for sure. And they expect to see more out of him. Now, does his heart condition maybe not every game to do this? Because, you know, they probably have steps. They probably have to be careful and that kind of thing like that. So maybe that's why Todd Bowles is like, let's just do all three. So,
I mean, I don't think his heart condition is much of an issue. I think the fact that it's going to make the situation or the log jam room a little bit more complicated for him, because if White is healthy, he was your running back one, and I felt like Bucky Irvin was giving you a spark. Right. And so now he's becoming running back 2. But then you get this big game from Sean Tucker against the New Orleans Saints. And it's just like, what is going on here? Now, they got to play the Ravens this week.
Yeah.
And no, hold up. Because I wanted to make sure I understood what I'm about to say.
okay.
The Ravens held. Now, to be fair, the Commanders did not have Brian Robinson. So I just want to put that out there. It might have been a different game. But the Ravens did hold the Commanders' rushing team to 52 yards.
Yep.
So will they be able to take away this 3-headed monster? And I think if you got one of them, you just got to put them in your lineup, right? If you got a Bucky, if you pick up Sean, if you got whatever, you know, you got to put them in your lineup.
I have a feeling that they're probably not going to rush White back because they have this going on.
Yeah.
So I just have a feeling that if you picked up Tucker, I think you would still be in really good shape if you went ahead and got him. So
any surprises other than the Sean Tucker? Other than Tucker, any other surprises in the top 10 scoring leaders this week? PPR?
No, I don't believe so.
No, I mean, look, Garrett Wilson, top 10 receiver. You expected him to be in there. It's like the first time he's made it. First time, I think we got a first time for Bijan and Garrett Wilson. I think in the top 10 this week. Maybe Caleb Williams is a surprise to me. You know, like he's starting to really come along. Every week he's getting better. He's getting more confident. Keenan Allen had a big week. It's interesting.
Yeah, I had Keenan on my bench
because Keenan's been incognito for the past season.
No idea that he was going to do that. So go figure that he would go off when I needed a wide receiver to really go off, and then I picked the wrong one to go off. So, you know.
Top 10 receivers. Let's go through them real quick. Chris Godwin, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown. Welcome back, A.J. Brown, man. Dang, bro. He was catching some unbelievable passes, dog.
He was.
I got a name for you that finds a way to sneak his ass up in this list every single freaking week. And nobody, and I mean nobody, has this guy. Wide receiver, New York Jets, Alan Lazard. I see what's going on in Green Bay, New York. I see what Aaron Rodgers is doing here. He's got not one. You might be right. Garrett Wilson may take a dip because Aaron is comfortable throwing to his guys.
That's right.
Damn. Alan Lazard, number 4. Terry McLaurin, there's your guy. Number 5, Zay Flowers. Number 6, Gabe Davis. Didn't expect that.
Yeah, that was a shock.
Gabe Davis. Yeah, Gabe Davis. Demario Douglas. Oh, no. You're not going to laugh at Demario Douglas. You're not going to laugh because I'm going to tell you right now, they got a new quarterback in town. His name is Drake May.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jacoby Brissett couldn't do, but Drake May is doing it.
Yeah.
Might want to think about if you need a quarterback, whatever. You might want to pick him up. Keenan Allen, number 9. Deebo Samuel, number 10. Those are your top 10 receivers. PPR. As far as running backs, Sean Tucker was 1. Joe Mixon was 2. Bijan, Derrick Henry, Tyrone Tracy. DeAndre Swift is steadily starting to stay in this category. Him and Breece Hall was tied for 6. They both had 21.9 points. David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker III, finished with 20.9 points because of that stinking ass touchdown. And here's a surprise name for you. Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris. Surprise name. He hasn't been.
He's not, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to go to the tight ends.
Okay.
Cole Kmet was 1. George Kittle was 2. Evan Ingram is back. My dumb ass dropped him right before the game started, and I'm like, he ain't going to play. And then he played, and then 18.2 points. Evan Ingram, Trey McBride 4, Brock Bowers 5, Mark Andrews. There's a Mark Andrew sighting, ladies and gents. Mark Andrews sighting. He put up 15.6 points. There's 2 tight ends on this list that I ain't heard their name called once this year. Mark Andrews and Sam Laporta.
Yes. When they put both of them like on the broadcast, like in their game, and they were basically talking about how there's Mark Andrews because they have not heard his name called one time this year on there. And then Sam Laporta, I did not realize that was Sam Laporta's first touchdown this year. I literally did not realize
you
that.
You could have just asked me because the motherfucker on my bench. And he was on my bench, and then he had a day. I also dropped Cole Kmet right before kickoff because I'm like, nah, he ain't gonna have another good game, and he leads the tight end with 24 points. You can't make this stuff up, you know what I mean? For me, let's get to these waiver wire pickups. That's why we're here. We're already 20 minutes into the show, so let's go ahead, bang these out quick, give some sleepers, and then we're out. You ready? Let's do it, baby. Oops, I got the wrong screen on. Hold on, I'm coming up. Doop on the rough side. All right, here we go. We got this top 10 waiver wire top waiver wire ads for week 7. Ladies and gents, let's go ahead and get down to the gritty of the nitty. Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Listen, I don't know about you, but I like watching this kid play football. I don't know why. But he makes plays, and that's the only thing I can ask for. He put up 21.7 points last week. And I think he would have had a much better game, but the Broncos defense didn't show up because they lost who? Patrick Surtain. Yep. He might not play. So that was key. I picked up their defense. Their defense don't give up touchdowns, literally. And then Patrick Surtain gets injured on the first play, and he's out for the rest of the game. And it was just a bad game for the Denver Broncos, unfortunately. But he had fight. What are your thoughts on Bo Nix?
No, I agree with you. He is exciting to watch. He's a young kid out there getting it done in Denver. Looking pretty decent. I look forward to big things coming from him as the seasons go along. I think that Sean Payton has found his quarterback.
Yeah, he was a top 10 scorer last week in week 6, top 10. Again, finished. He was right behind Jalen Hurts and right in front of number 10, Drake May. So, hey, they got a matchup too. You could pick up. If you guys want to know who he's playing against this week, Denver, if I'm not mistaken, they have hold up. Wait a minute. I think are they on the road this week? They're in the Mile High. Denver's on the road. They got the Saints. Saints defense don't look good. So I like it. Now he's on the road, but hey man, pick up Bo Nix. If you guys get a chance. Running back Sean Tucker, because I don't know what the hell is going on here in Tampa. But if a guy put up 34.2 points, you can't overlook that, right?
Yep. I agree. The only thing I have to add to that is, just like I just said, to reiterate, it looks like that they're not going to rush Rachaad White back. So he'd definitely be a great waiver wire pickup if you do need a running back, like one of your running backs from Dallas or Chicago is on a bye this week. So pick up Sean Tucker, because apparently he's going to have a lot going on out there, and he may have another big fantasy week. Who knows? Ooh,
Mr. Tucker against Baltimore. It's gonna be tough, but hey, try it, man. Baltimore is on the road, and they play a little different on the road.
They sure do. Yes, they do.
The second week in a row, Tyrone Tracy has made this list. Second week in a row, Tyrone Tracy has made this list. He put up 7 points last week. He was the breath. He was their spark last week. I don't know if Singletary gets his job back, but I'm going with the rookie here. I feel like this is a spark that they needed. The Giants, who they playing this week? The Giants are at home, if I'm not mistaken. They got the Eagles coming into town.
The Giants play the Eagles, and what I want to add about Mr. Tyrone Tracy real quick before we move on is this was actually going to be my must start. Philly has been horrible against running backs this year on their defense. So if you can still get Tracy because he's that popular where it may be impossible to get him, pick him up because like Breezie said, this kid is overtaking that number one spot, and the Giants really love what they get out of him, and it happens. And I really think that Tracy is going to continue to have great weeks just like he is now. So be sure and grab this one.
I agree with Peachy right there. We're going to get to the wide receivers. Listen, I don't understand what's going on in Jacksonville.
Right.
But we finally get the Gabe Davis that we know. Peachy and I know, the Buffalo Gabe Davis, the guy that always found the end zone. Maybe something is brewing in Jacksonville. He put up the points. The rookie was down. They're at home. The Patriots are coming into town. I don't know if Julius Peppers is playing. Patriots defense is totally different when Peppers is not out there. I say pick up any one of these wide receivers from Jacksonville, but I feel like Christian Kirk is on people's rosters. I feel like the rookie Brian Thomas, but this is a waiver wire pickup show. If Gabe Davis is available in your league, you might want to grab him. He's playing against, I know Patriots got a good secondary, but the key to their secondary did not play last week.
Right.
And I'm not sure what his status is going to be. Thoughts on Gabe Davis, 21 and a half points in week 6.
Just like you said, and you're basically right. I mean, he's starting to look like that Buffalo Gabe Davis, and so I don't really know what's going on in Jacksonville anyway. So I have a feeling that they may be turning to Gabe Davis more. Him and Trevor Lawrence seem to have a pretty good chemistry going there with each other. So I definitely would pick up Gabe. But like Breezy said, any Jacksonville receivers would also be okay. But I have a feeling that Gabe is just going to continue to put up points in there. So
agree 1,000%. 1,000%. All right. Wide receiver, speaking of Patriots, wide receiver, you might as well start this guy. This seems like this is the guy Drake May likes, and this is the guy that Drake May's finding. And we're finally starting to see what Demario Douglas can do in the NFL with a quarterback that is competent. And I know Drake May has a long way to go. You talked about chemistry and the connection. Maybe there's a chemistry and connection over in New England. This is the London game at 9:30 a.m. The Patriots are the away team. The Jacksonville is the home team again. And they lost last week. So this is going to be interesting to see. What are your thoughts on Demario Douglas?
honestly, at this point, this is almost like if he was playing the Carolina Panthers. Whatever Jacksonville has going on there, whether they're in the middle of a fire sale or whatever they're doing, pick up any opponent on offense that's going against this Jags defense, because whatever in the world is going on, that's why Caleb was able to shine so much over there. Whatever is going on, it's not right. I expect Demario Douglas to eat this week. I do agree with Breezie that Drake May and him do, I believe, have some kind of chemistry, because it sure did look like it out there when they were playing. And even got the sign of approval from Belichick, from Drake May, saying that's the guy. So he just needs to be surrounded by better coaching. I think that was a shot, but he does like Drake May a whole lot. So Demario Douglas, absolutely going against the Jags. Absolutely.
All right, you heard it from Peachy. Absolutely. We got another Patriot. Now, listen, he ain't had a sighting since week 1, and I told you to pick him up, and then after that, you probably dropped him like I did. Now, that's when I listened to my own advice. But we're talking about comfort. We're talking about having a connection, and a young quarterback's best friend is their tight end. The Jacksonville Jaguars can't cover dirt, and this might be a week you want to pick up Hunter Henry. He did put up 13.1 points last week. He found the end zone. I could see him finding the end zone this week. Thoughts on Hunter Henry getting a second shot on the waiver wire pickup show?
Like I just said, I'm 100% behind any Patriots offensive player that you want to pick up against this Jags defense. I do agree with Breezy. I had Hunter Henry in a couple of mine, and I dropped him because he was just non-existent. I couldn't find him. So if they are back and if Henry's back, then definitely if you need a tight end again, if Dallas and the Chicago with Komet and Ferguson, if they are your starting tight end, then you're definitely going to need one. So bump him out, put him on your bench, grab Hunter Henry.
Here's my flex guy. I think this is the same thing that's going on with Jacksonville. You don't know which wide receiver. I feel like Jaden Reed is a must start every week, but then there's that second guy. Is it going to be Christian Kirk? Is it going to be Romeo Doubs? Is it going to be Dontavian Wicks? Like, which receiver is it going to be?
Is it going to be Christian Watson? Because
Christian Watson, that's what I meant to say. Right, I'd say Kirk. I meant Watson. But,
I got you.
Yeah. But nah, seriously. But they're playing the Texans, right? And the Texas defense isn't as great as we think that it is. They beat up on the Patriots last week, but they also gave up 21 points to the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Now they're on the road going to Green Bay, and I think you got to pick up Romeo Doubs, man. I think this is the guy Jordan Love loves to go to. He was dealing with an injury. Now he seems fully healthy. What are your thoughts on Romeo Doubs?
All that I'm going to say about this is that you are absolutely right. The Texans have not been that good against wide receivers anyway. They definitely got some leaks in that secondary, couple of players out, that kind of stuff. So you're able to score points on them. I did notice that Love's best passes were to Romeo Doubs. That's who he tries to look for. Was really irritated because he found Christian Watson a couple of times, but not as many as Doubs. Doubs definitely gets more targets. With all the wide receivers that Green Bay has out there, it's just, you just don't know who to cover and who to whatever. And Doubs seems to be open more than anyone else. So I agree with that. I would definitely get him for flex.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's Jaden Reed that's going to be looking to make the big plays, and then there's Doubs that's going to be looking to move the chains.
Yes.
Christian Watson's going to be taking the top off the defense with the speed down the field. They got a good wide receiving core,
yes,
and
do.
Jordan Love looks like he's back too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so that's a good thing for if you have both of these guys in your league, you want to pick them up and you want to double up, man. You might as well go ahead and grab Doubs. Kicker. I got Lions kicker Jake Bates, who really has attempted any field goals, and so I overlooked him. He was available in a bunch of my fantasy leagues, and I'm like, yo, this kid can't. He not getting field goal attempts, and then he gets 19 points last week against the Dallas Cowboys. Any thoughts on Jake Bates? Are you overlooking him again like I did? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I definitely overlooked him. He's not in that top 10 that you would look at normally, but a lot of the top 10 is not performing as well as they normally would in past years. So definitely Jake Bates. I'm thinking about, Breezy gave me an idea. I had literally had a kicker on my bench, and Breezy goes, no, you just switch them things out. Like you need one, switch them out. So you can't go wrong with this one. I think that Detroit is going to kind of restructure things a little bit. So Jake Bates might have some opportunities to kick a lot more.
They're on the road, Peachy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an NFC North divisional game against the undefeated Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
You got to get this kicker. He's going to get the opportunities is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Vikings have a great defense, and if Jared Goff and that running team can't get down there, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. So go ahead and grab Jake Bates. And speaking of defense, I'm starting the Commanders' defense against the Panthers. I don't care who their quarterback is. It doesn't matter. Like, at this point, I don't know what the Panthers' identity is. I do know that the Commanders' defense struggled last week, only getting 3 points, but that was the Ravens. We're talking about Now we're talking about the Panthers. So I don't know if you feel different about it, but I think the Commanders defense is a defense a lot of people don't have. And I remember them being in my waiver where I picked them up one week. They did really well. And then I dumped them to get a different defense. So, So what are your thoughts on the Commanders D this week against the Panthers?
They did have a massive loss with Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
But if you need a defense because either your defense is not performing up to snuff the way that you feel like that they should, or if you were like some people and just in name only just grabbed, these popular defenses and, you can't get one of one that's really scored a lot, you definitely can't go wrong with the Commanders again. If, Cowboys defense, which is, one of the top ones I'm talking about, they're on a bye week. So you definitely want to get the Commanders. And actually, the Commanders probably scored more this year than Dallas did, because that's one of Dallas's problems is their defense, because they're missing so many players on the defense.
100%. Those are your top waiver wire ads. Let us know in the comment section of the show after you like this joint and you subscribe to it, if you guys got anybody else you guys want to pick up or whatnot on the waiver wire. All right, let us know. Peachy, you said you had a must start and a must sit. Let me hear those really quickly. I'm gonna get your must start, your must sit, and then I got a sleeper pick that I think everybody might want to draw a little attention to.
All right. So my must start that I have actually talked about on the waiver thing, and that's Tyrone Tracy against Philly. I definitely think that that's a great option. Their defense, like I said, is not been good against the run. They've allowed their running backs to get like 5 yards a carry like the whole entire season. So they're kind of, trying to get their defense. They can't figure out what they want to be on defense for one against the run. And my sit is actually going to be Josh Jacobs, because where the Texans have let wide receivers kind of run rampant, the one thing that they have been able to do is to stop the run. So that's why I have Josh Jacobs as my sit this week.
Okay. I could dig that. I got a couple of wide receivers that I think you might want to take a look at. Number one is Tim Patrick from the Detroit Lions. I didn't even know he played on the Detroit Lions. I forgot. But listen, this was a guy that they were going with, like literally, you know what I'm saying? So you might want to pick him up. Now, there's another wide receiver that nobody, I'm sure, knows this kid's name. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. He's the wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, and he was the reason that they started to make a comeback. He was catching all kind of passes. His name is Devon Vele, or Vele, Vele. Check this guy out.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you. I watched that game in its entirety. I'm like, who is him? How is he catching those passes? And they were tough passes. I can see Bo Nix growing with some of these newer guys. And so you might want to, if you need 7, 8, 9, 10 points from a guy that I think are going to trend up, check out those two wide receivers, kid from Vele, the kid from Denver, and Tim Patrick. And the Lions got a lot of receivers.
Yes, because they got what's his name too. They got
Khalif Raymond. They got Jameis Williams. They got
Jamison Williams. That's
they got a bunch of kids.
Never know. Yeah,
they got a bunch of kids. So we'll see what happens, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to
Who's your sit, Breezy?
Huh?
Who's your sit?
I ain't sitting nobody. I don't care no more. You do the sits. Must sit, must starts. At this point, I'm just gonna show up to my fantasy football league ceremony and just be there, and hopefully got good food to eat, because at this point it's just over. Christian, I love you, McCaffrey, but you really effed up my fantasy football. There's a few players have effed up my season. But you gave me a spark, because I think I got Nick Chubb on a couple of benches that I'm not doing well in.
Time to bring him up. They're gonna be
maybe I could go 500. Who knows?
Or but Breezy, like we could, have had the type of week as to one that I saw on social media. And I feel so bad for that dude. He only got 1.28.
Wait, let me look at this. Let me. His name is Jack Attack. Okay?
But if you look at
I'm trying to look.
His thing though, like I just felt so bad for him, because
wait a minute. There's no way this was his team. Everybody in his lineup got injured except for Dak Prescott, who got benched.
Which is why he barely has any. He got like 3 points.
Wait a minute. Let me go back to this again. Hold on. You know what? This is that show. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Worst fantasy week. All right. I said I wasn't going to do it, but who the hell cares at this point? Let me go ahead and put it right here. I'm a little confused. Well, I'm not confused. I'm just like, dang.
You just can't have.
They can't see it.
Worse luck.
All right, so Dak Prescott was the worst quarterback. I don't know why you even have Ezekiel Elliott. I don't get it.
I don't even understand that either.
Travis
like, that's a
18.
you problem, Jack Attack.
Yes, Travis 18 got injured. Chris Olave got a concussion on the second throw.
Yes.
Calvin Ridley's not getting the ball. He's complaining. He
is
upset.
Mad.
You just told me that Dallas Goedert had a hammy. I was wondering why I got 0. I had 0. Marvin Harrison ended up getting a concussion early.
Yes.
Dallas defense had -7 points because they gave up 50 points. They gave up a lot of points. 40-something points. And Tyler Bass was ass.
God, what happened last night to him?
Was that game in New York or Buffalo?
It was in New York.
Oh, that's why. The wind is different. I know both teams from New York, but the wind hit a little different in New York and New Jersey where they play. Like the wind is a little different. So
it was wild watching them miss those. I mean, they was way out. Like the wind just went.
Legatron was missing too. So
yes, both of them were.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Listen, great fantasy football week, man. Pick up some of these guys. Let us know how they do. We love to read these comments, so make sure you do that. Don't forget to hit that like button. Until the next time, y'all, let's keep it football talk all day, every day. All right, peace out.